There was an invasion of demons. After this invasion, mankind suffered a crushing defeat. I am a prisoner of the devil himself, and I am ready for anything to survive. At the first opportunity, I will have the strength to turn this devil's lair around. We see a crowd of men fighting the damned demon that attacked them. The men attacked him with bats, hands, and everything that came to hand. They knew that he should not be underestimated because it could cost them their lives. 3 men could to destroy that damned demon. It was so inspiring. This meant that it was quite possible to destroy the cursed demons and escape. They weren't that strong. As long as they work together, there are ways to defeat them. Behind the guys jubilant with happiness who destroyed one demon, a huge incomprehensible silhouette appeared. It seems that it was also a demon. The guys at first did not notice him and shouted to the others to join them. But suddenly this incomprehensible silhouette of a huge demon made an incomprehensible attack, subsequently which these guys scattered around. It looks like this incomprehensible demon destroyed them with one blow. It turned out that it was not one demon at all, but there were 3 of them. The main demon, who used some strange technique, wanted to remind the people that they were just slaves of the demons. Demons broke out of the bowels of the earth, unleashing a war against all mankind. Faced with hitherto unknown powerful monsters, people were defeated in every sense of the word, and became prisoners of their conquerors. Time after time, people were defeated and received more and more victims. The chief cursed demon said, "Are there any other such daredevils? If not, then go ahead. We'll get to the lair soon, and don't even think about throwing any tricks again." Some man from the human ranks shouted, "Hey, if you don't want to die, it's better to do what those damned demons tell us. Otherwise, we'll end up like these guys. Let's all together. Long live the demons." "Long live the demons," shouted all the little people who stood next to him. The guy in black thought that everything would end very badly for all these stupid little people. While he was thinking, some girl ran up to him and hugged him. She said, "And ye, how glad I am. You are alive." It turns out that this guy in black is called Yi, and the girl is called Tao. This Tao girl was so worried because she saw how all the people were destroyed right before her eyes. She burst into bitter tears because she could not do anything and saw how her relatives were dying. And Yi decided to calm Tao and hugged her, telling her not to be afraid because she has him. As long as he is alive, they will definitely be able to get out of this whole situation. And Yi came up with a plan. He initiated Tao into him. And Yi said, "Tao, there's only one way out. I'll cover and you'll have a few moments to hide." Tao did not agree with him. She said that they need to get out of there together. But then Yi continued his conversation. He said, "Tao, if everything goes well, then in the dead of night you will go to the south, and you can survive. I guarantee it." Tao wanted to stop him, but he had already firmly decided for himself that he would do it. He asked her to wait for the right moment, and he went attacking some stranger in the back. The rest, seeing this, attacked him altogether, as well as the damned ugly demon, also decided to attack him in order to quickly get rid of them all. But the demon missed and hit the leg of another person, which he successfully crushed. Then when the demon ordered him to explain what he had just done, he said that they were planning an escape. The rest wanted to kill him, but the demon ordered everyone to shut up. And Yi gave Tao the opportunity to escape from there and save himself. He began to shout to the demon that everything he had just said was the pure truth, but the demon didn't even want to listen to him, and just kicked him back. And Yi noticed that Tao hid, when suddenly some human freight shouted, "Sir Demon, I noticed that someone just hid there," and pointed to the body of the defeated demon. The damned demon went up to the body, and noticed how Tao was sitting. He grabbed her and pulled her out. He wanted to devour her, but he immediately reacted to this, and kicked him while he tried to put her in his filthy mouth. All the other demons reacted to what was happening, and immediately surrounded the Tao with and Yi. And even thinking that nothing could really work out, he hugged Tao and confessed that he liked her, and also added that in the next life he would definitely take her as his wife. She burst into tears either from what she heard, or from what that their lives are about to end. They were in an instant from death, but suddenly the damned demon who planned to destroy them was cut into pieces. They noticed this, but did not understand what happened there. Then they noticed that a witch, whose name was Monkiel, was approaching them. Monkiel, flying up to them, said, "Laugh before death? Very interesting. It's decided. It will be you. Hey man, you will come with me, in order to increase the population of demons." The witch said, "You will come with me in order to increase the population of demons." And he was shocked by what he heard and answered her, "You demons enslave and mock us, and at the same time you say something about multiplying in your population? Dream brat." The witch, hearing this, immediately flew up to Yi and grabbed his face. She lifted him up holding it like that, and said, "You, an ordinary person, dare to reject me." Tao tried to help Yi too, but she couldn't. She was thrown back by the witch's magic. The witch threw them on the ground and told them to separate them, and also to see that none of them died by accident. Now this guy, that is, and Yi, was in the care of a witch. After they threw Yi to the ground, he noticed that other demons were taking Tao. He wanted to save her and shouted his last words to her until their next meeting. He said that he would definitely save her. The witch believed that humans were the weakest creatures that could ever be on Earth. She believed that their birth was destined to be enslaved by powerful demons. That's how all enslaved people ended up in some incomprehensible place in which they were distributed. Each person was sent to different corners of this incomprehensible place. One man became suspicious when he was told to go to the center, and before going there he asked the demon what was the difference between these passages. The demon, seeing that he began to resist, tried to hit him with his huge wall, but he managed to quickly react and repel his attack. He shouted to the demons that they could do hard work, as long as they were not allowed to feed. What this man said caused a great panic among the people. But then another witch appeared, whose name was Leah. She came to the center of all these events and shouted, "Stop the farce," and then continued in a calm tone. So many people were alarmed because of one sharp tongue. "Here is an incident. You to the center. There you will not become food." It looks like the witch Lee used some kind of hypnotism magic on this man, because when she told him to be obedient and he stood in the center, he immediately agreed with her and even began to encourage others to get in line. And then I thought to myself, that is, the central passage does not lead to the processing workshop. But what about the other two? There is some strange passage on the left. Almost no one is sent there. Perhaps this passage must be, and will lead everyone to the demon's table as an appetizer. Then I noticed that the same man pushed Tab away and told her to go to the right. And Yi immediately shouted, "Lord of the demons, I also want to go to the right." But the demon stopped him and ordered him to stand still, and then knocked him to the ground. Witch Leah, noticing this, thought, "But why did this boy deserve special treatment?" Thinking about this, she looked into his insides with her witch magic, and then called the demon to her. The demon said that this person was chosen by Lady Monkiel, even before they came here. So the witch interrupted the demon and said that only she, Da Zui, and Weston have the right to choose new people, don't they? Why then is Monkiel that boy? Tell her he's mine. The demon managed to say only one thing, but as his head had already flown off his head, Mrs. Leah asked, "Well, will you also dare to contradict me here? Will you come with me?" From the rest of the people, the demons simply knocked out a friend. They tried to destroy one boy so hard that he could only ask for their mercy. And he saved this boy from the blows of the damned demon, who did not understand, who managed to pick him up. As soon as this, the demon tried to swing at Yi. He was stopped by the mistress, who ordered him not to touch this boy, because otherwise she would not have any leverage over the Monkiel. It was truly hell on earth. Ms. Leah made a statement. "Gentlemen, since new people have arrived, work efficiency should improve. By the end of this week, 1,000 demon mansions must be built. If the quota is not met by the end of the week, you all will be destroyed by me personally." The little people were very frightened by what they heard and began to work harder. And Ye heard one of the people who worked there say, "By the end of the week, it's just impossible. It's torture. Why don't you just kill us right now? The outcome will be the same. It's just impossible, just impossible." The demon, seeing this, swung at that person. and even the witch said that this task did not concern him, and he had only to go with her. And he went to some incomprehensible place with the witch, and began to ask her why he was there with her, and what happened to those people who went into the passage on the right. The witch, having heard his question, got angry and said, "Hey boy, don't be arrogant, you're just my trump card, so if at least one more word flies out of your beautiful mouth, then I'll kill you." In this place, all the juices were literally squeezed out of people. With such loads, they can die out without too much help. And those who were selected for the demons for a snack, I'm sure they will live even less. In any case, they did not need to get out of there at first. Based on observations, it can be said that this demon lair is relatively new and has not yet been mastered, given that the guys have to build a whole 1,000 mansions in a week. Most likely they are trying to bring as many demons to the earth as possible. Although he had no idea what the tight deadlines were for, but this opportunity, then he came up with, he shouted, "That's right. I have an idea. I know how to complete the quest on time, and how to build 1,000 settlements by the end of the week." But Witch Li already pressed her stinger to her throat, and he asked her give her just 1 minute, and he began to tell the witch what idea had entered his head. He began to tell her about the horror. This horror leads to irregular heartbeat, weakness in the limbs, physiological dysfunction, and much more. Because of this negative emotion, people cannot work effectively. And the reason for such horror in their hearts is the violence from the demons and the demand, either do it in a week or die. Leah listened to him and said, I'm just trying to motivate them. Everyone knows that this task can't be completed in a week. And he began to continue the story. You can increase efficiency by changing the very conditions of work. Motivate workers not with intimidation, but with the promise of good work, for example. Give them freedom. The witch, who had let go of her sting for a while, again brought him closer to Ai, and asked him if he wanted her to free them all. And he thought, she's not like other demons. You can't be fooled that easily. And it seems that she really can fulfill that promise to destroy everyone. First, you need to appease her and only then think about what to do next. He continued talking to the witch. No, even if it's an empty promise, as long as people have hope, they will cling to it. In the long run, work efficiency will definitely increase. 2 days. Give me 2 days, and you yourself will be convinced of everything. Then the witch Leah called her servant, named Lian Liu. She told him to tell the person about the essence and progress of the current work, so that he also allowed him to introduce new adjustments. So, and Yi went for the servant of the mistress Leah. Monkiel was there and eavesdropped on their conversation. She thought to herself, Leah is still trying to annoy me somehow, but she won't get anything. I just can find a new person and be done with it. But if this one was a fool who only know how to bluff. So, and having found out about everything that happened in that place, he decided to arrange a premature gathering of hard workers who were working even at that moment. He started shouting, "That's it. My name is, and yes. The previous decree on the need to complete construction work by the end of the week is cancelled. Starting today, previously irregular work will be specified for each of you. As soon as a person completes the part of the work assigned to him, he can be free." People, after hearing his words, were full of happiness. They did not even believe his words, and began to ask again. Really, as soon as they finished, they could return to their home. Some began to ask, did he agree with that demon Leah? They were very grateful to him, and began to call him Lord and Yi. And Yi went on to say, also none of you will be abused in the process of work anymore. He thought, if we are all waiting for death anyway, then this is the least that I can do for them. Although how can I think so? I must definitely come up with something. Enthusiasm is enough, but this is far you won't leave. I must definitely think of something. When suddenly all the cries of happiness were interrupted by one voice that said that no one should listen to him. This man who yelled this said this bastard destroyed my brother so that his girlfriend could escape. Before, I always blamed others for my troubles, but now, at least some benefit from communicating with demons. Don't let yourself be fooled. The lady's servant also added that the lady ordered not to touch or harm other people, and he went downstairs to those people and said, "Weren't you like a dog shouting, 'Long live the demons'?" These words pissed off that man. He started yelling at and ye. Ah, like who? I was trying to diffuse an already terribly tense atmosphere and prevent even more people being destroyed, and you dare to call me that? Judging by the current state of affairs, who else is here, doggy? Do you want everyone here to be destroyed like my brother? Mistress Leah's servant thought to himself, as if we were not here at all. But Mistress said to listen to him. Do not it looks like I'm needed here at all? Then I also thought to myself, ah, really? That person really died because of me. I really allowed the demons to destroy another person in order to save your Tao. And now he gave hope to so many people who do not even realize that this is a simple lie. He said everything is right. Thinking about this, he burst into tears and began to apologize to that man. Said that he was really guilty of the death of his brother, but the man did not want to listen to him. He shouted at him, "What are you crying like the last woman? What's the point of apologizing? You will have to answer for it in full." But suddenly the same boy appeared, whom he had saved at the entrance to that place. He shouted that brother and he are a good person. He told everyone that he had saved him in the morning, and then that he believes him. Besides, they had no other choice at all, didn't they? Then people began to talk among themselves, but their conversation was interrupted by Yi, saying, "Yes, like I said, finish the job, and that's it." I would like to believe in it, I thought to myself, and Yi. He later approached that man and apologized for his brother. He said that when all this was over, he will return his debt to him. But now they had more important things to do. Mistress Lee's servant told them all to stand in line to receive assignments after receiving assignments, and he decided to help that boy whom he had saved in the morning. But he said that he shouldn't help it and cope on his own. The boy began to tell him his story. Before, it doesn't matter, before the demon invasion or after, everyone just mocked me. I was always weak and not very good health, but you were the first person who helped me. Bro and Yi, thank you. You not only helped me, but also pleased me with good news. From now on, I want to work hard to return to the top. When they suddenly heard human cries. A man screamed and begged for mercy. Both Yi and the lady's assistant immediately ran to these cries. They stopped this demon, and then he began to explain to them what happened there. The man accidentally stumbled and fell on the demon, but the demon didn't take it that way and was very angry with him, so he wanted to attack him. But it's good that they arrived in time to him. Mistress Leah's servant calmed the demon and said that it was more important to get everything in order here. The man wanted to start working, but he noticed that the acid of that demon broke his hoe, and he noticed how this happened and said, "Mr. Ying Lu, can you ask that demon master to spit out more of this liquid? Work." Mr. Ying Lu said that he would consult with Lady Leah, and until then he would have to wait. After consulting with Lady Leah, she agreed to use the acid of that demon. Other demons squeezed acid out of him. The acid of that demon was collected in a vast area. People lined up to get the acid in canisters. People were very happy about this, because at this rate their work was accelerated and they could return home early. And Yi thought to himself, didn't think that a demon would be willing to use his subordinate in this way for the sake of efficiency. It seems that this work is very important for Li. With this acid and general enthusiasm, 200 housing can be completed by the end of the week places. Perhaps, having seen the result, Laya can even keep her promise. Momkil was in an unknown place to them. She asked if demons were born during the time she was gone, but she received an unconsoling answer. She was told that no one had been born for a long time not born. She thought that if this continued and the demons were not born, then sooner or later they would all disappear. She decided she didn't care about Leah's plans. She wanted her back too. When she was about to go there, she was stopped by her servant, who told her, "I think it's better to stay away from people. After all, they are inferior beings. Being around them, you're just wasting your time." Lady Monkil replied to the servant, "Then my task is to find you. Zitang, you are not up to the level of a human. It is not for you to give me advice. Know your place. Jitang, that was her servant's name. He was very upset and shut up in front of Lady Monkeel. Lady Leah's servant came up to Yi and said that Lady Leah was looking for him. And Yi went to Mistress Li and heard this. Amazing. As you said, now they are more motivated to work, although the demonic acid also helped a lot. Since it works so effectively, I'm going to use this technique in other places. And Yi replied to her, Yep, at this rate, in about half a month everything will be ready. By then they will be free. Mistress laughed and asked E and Yi, Someone from our food supply not indifferent to you, what do you want? He replied to her, Actually, Mistress Leah, I want to ask you to help protect someone. It's a girl named Tao. Mistress Leah promised him that she would send someone to protect her. Ms. Leah also said, Ha ha ha, it's like you really promised those workers that they would be free when they finished the job. And Yi suddenly panicked. He began to think, how, and no, damn, I shouldn't have told her about Tao. But Lady Leah interrupted his thoughts and said, When they finish following my order, I'll think about saving their lives. Go. She let him go, so he began to return to the place where he came from. But suddenly he was stopped by the first witch he met. She asked him where he was going. It was Madame Monkeel. He noticed her immediately and thought of something. He shouted to her, Madame Monkeel, I agree. I will cooperate with you and do whatever you say. Only, I ask you to help me in one matter. Agreed to help Yi too. After that, and Yi, together with Madame Monkeel, went to a place where no one could interfere with them and began their conversation. He told her about the girl that was with him when they first met and asked her to save her. Madame Monkeel told him that it would not be a problem for her. They agreed on one person. Madame Monkeel wanted to start quickly, and Yi believed that it was impossible to predict Lia's intentions, and now she knows about the existence of Tao in addition to all this. Therefore, he can only hope only for Monkeel. Thinking about this, and Yi asked, Mistress Monkeel, what do you want in return? She replied, I want you to show me how people reproduce, and work with me in this direction to produce as many small demons as possible, and so that it will be faster. And I answered her, Anyway, I must know the ultimate goal of all this, and I would like to. I thought that, first you will help me. Mrs. Monkeel asked him why he needs to know so much. They just need to breed together, and that's it. If she is happy with the result, she will immediately help him save her, so he should stop hurting. Madame Monkeel hated those who tried to set conditions on her. To the interlocutor, incredibly intractable, is it possible to cross people and demons at all? What is its purpose? I can't understand her train of thought. Anyway, helping her is like harming humanity. He must somehow force her to save Tao. Then he began to tell Miss Monkeel that he did not know how demons reproduce, but the mating of the human race does not necessarily lead directly to offspring. Miss Monkeel did not understand what he was talking about, but he did not stop and continued. He began to tell her, people should have certain warm feelings for each other, and only then everything will be successful. I'll arrange everything. That girl and I love each other. You will help me save her, and then we will show you everything. But Mrs. Monkeel didn't have time for that, so she said that they should fall in love with each other right now so that he could demonstrate it to her himself. He began to think to himself, each other? Fall in love? If I can make a high-ranking demon like Monkeel fall in love with me, it will be an absolute success. Save Tao. Save the workers. I just need to pretend to help her. But in reality, everything needs to be arranged so that of the two of us, only I am the one who wins. She doesn't look very smart. I must try. And Yi asked Mrs. Monkeel to show some emotions. Mrs. Monkeel thought that he had already begun training, so she began to portray everything that he asked her, namely, puzzle, fear, boredom, envy, and anger. Then I didn't understand that demons really don't know how to express and understand human emotions. Perhaps this is due to the environment in which they lived and continue to live. Can a demon fall in love with a person if not through emotions? Maybe directly, Maybe the demons will understand something more straightforward. Thou, forgive me. And Yi kissed Madame Monkiel. After the kiss, he asked, "Well, how?" Then Mrs. Monkiel said that she thought that he had attacked her, but she also said that it was not so, and also said that it was a spore and the touch of the lips. A kiss. This is how people express their love. And I realized that it didn't work, and Madame Monkiel said that she didn't feel anything at all. And he said that it seems that demons and humans are completely different creatures, but Miss Monkiel replied that the point of contact is wrong. Then he did not understand what she was talking about, and then she began to explain to him that maybe he should touch her breasts or even other places on her body, and maybe something would happen. She allowed him to touch her whole body. When he heard this, he began to paw her, but in his thoughts he thought, "Tao, what am I doing? Even though she is a demon, it's too much, and Monkiel is also very similar to a human girl." Thinking about this, he looked at her breasts and already wanted to touch her, but Madame Monkiel hurried him on, and he was very frightened. He said that he was in a hurry if there is only physical interaction between the parties and there is no spiritual connection. Then this cannot be called a romantic relationship. It's just a deal. Mrs. Monkiel was already starting to get angry, so she told him to stop talking to her teeth. She did not have time for this. She asked her to make her feel all this love of him faster. She already wanted to start threatening. But she said, Don't be in such a hurry, Madame Monkiel. It has to happen gradually. If it's rushed, nothing good will come of it. Love is a complicated thing in itself, not to mention love between a human and a demon. It can't be one-sided." After hearing this, Mrs. Monkiel asked, "Well, what should we do then?" To which he replied that they should get to know each other better and give gifts, because that's what people do, and then you can talk about love. It's a great way to learn about each other's preferences. A good gift can even spark romantic feelings. You can refer to this as a kind of game or competition. When she heard this, she burned with desire. She hurried him on, saying that she never loses. She decided that they would start right away, but it seems that she took it all too directly, because he had it in the not true sense of the word. He stopped Mrs. Monkiel and said that they needed to get to know each other a little so that understand what gifts to give. She said that it's so difficult with people, and any gift will suit her, and then she said that he wants that girl with ponytails. She jumped up abruptly and flew away, saying that she knew. Then he began to think to himself, did she fly for Tao? It turns out that Monkiel gets gifts quite often. Then I should prepare something special. Hold on a little longer. Tao. The girl was grabbed by a demon who was preparing to devour her, but this demon was destroyed. It was a processing place for demons so that they could eat. Tao was there when suddenly someone called her, but we again returned to Mrs. Monkiel, who returned to Yi and asked if it was ready. Did he have everything? And Yi threw a piece of towel and began to read a verse to her. You are a cherished dream. I walk in your dreams, and I have no peace anywhere. Hearts beat in unison. We will be together forever. His master. He wanted to say that this was not what he expected. But he got scared because Mistress Monkiel was angry with him. He began to think, it looks like now this is really a competition. It will be more difficult than I expected. Even if not now, but the chance to save Tao will definitely appear. You need to be patient. Then Mrs. Monkiel asked what else they need to do, to which he replied that they need to eat together, walk, have fun. Mrs. Monkiel could not stand still and hurriedly dragged him to do all this. In front of him was some kind of disgusting porridge. Then Mrs. Monkiel said, don't worry and eat. We reserve people only for emergencies. Who wants to eat vase when there's something tastier? They were worms. Lady Lai sent to Tao Ying Lu to check how Tao lived there. Tao was frightened, but not by fear of death, but by fear of suspense. She missed and Yi. That's all. If you want to continue, then write in the comments. See you soon.